So, hi students. In this video, I would like to teach the control statements of Java. So, the control statements are called repetition statements. So, here we are having repetition statements and also called as iterative statements, and also called as loops. So these are many words are there for a control statements. What's mean by this one? What's mean by repetition? So based on a condition, a group of statements or a block of statements, may execute more than once. So may execute more than once. So this is called a conditional control statement. So Java having while is the one control statement, and Java has do is the another control statement followed by do hyphen while. This is another conditional control statement, and the next one is for loop. For loop is the another conditional statement. We are having these three will be there. So we will be see one by one, and we will find out the difference between one to other, and in which terms the difference will be maintained. So we will start with the first one, while. While is the conditional control statement. So while loop, whenever we need see the points, the small points will be there, which give us a much more information. The while is also called as pretest, also called as pretest conditional control statement, pretest or preconditional control statement, preconditional control statement. What's mean by pre? What's mean by pre means? So before executing a block of statements, and also called as entry conditional statements. So this is the entry conditional statement. Ignore the spelling from my side. Entry conditional statement. That means when you see the syntax, then we come a full-fledged of nodes. Syntax while is there. So before the variable enter into the while loop, it should be assigned. Now while will be takes place while followed by condition, and in that condition we are having a block is there called a while block. In the while block, this can be mentioned a group of statements, and the variable should be either incremented or decremented, the value which will be takes place here. So the variable which is assigned, the same variable will go for condition. Now after that, the same variable will should go for incremented. For one variable, we are doing the three things. Again, the same point. So the variable should be assigned, the variable should be condition, should be applied, and the variable go for increment and decrement. Why you go for increment and decrement? Once the condition is true, we will enter into the while block and repeated a group of statements again and again. So with this increment value or decrement value, the condition should becomes false. So for that reason, at one end, we have to stop our loop. So we will make the condition as a false statement by incrementing and decrementing the values. So this is called whenever this is a block, called block. So before enter into the block, it will checking the condition. So it is also, so that is the reason why you call pretest or a preconditional or entry. For what's mean by entry? This is a block. To enter into the block, we go for a condition that is called entry conditional control statement. Entry conditional control statement is there. We will write the programs one by one. Now the other loop is called do loop. The other is one is called do while. So the other one is called do while. In the do while conditional control statement, the same thing will be take place. Now it is called post test, or we can go for post conditional control statement, or exit control. So after entering to the block, it will execute a group of statements. That statements will be repeatedly executed till the condition becomes false. Now the variable should be assigned. Now we enter into the do block. Do having a statement called statements. So with respect to the any condition, it does not check the condition, and it will increment and it will execute the statement, the value will be decremented or incremented. Now finally at last it will check the condition. The condition will be at last, so we call it as an exit control. Whenever the block will be there, this is the while, this is the which block, do block. In the do block, after executing all the statements, it will check the condition at last, so called is an exit control exit conditional control statement. Exit conditional control statement. Now again that is a small difference. Whenever in while the condition is false for first time, whenever while the condition is false for first time, the while block statement does not execute at least once. The while block statement does not execute at least one time. But whenever the condition is false for first time, when the condition is false for first time in do while block, a group of statements may execute at one time, This is the thing you have to understand, that the while block is the post conditional and while is the preconditional. When condition is false for first time, the while block statements cannot be executed at least once. Whenever you go for do while, first it executes and check the condition. That's the reason it executing do block statement at least once whenever the condition becomes false. Now followed by, we can see the for loop. So this is the for loop in our Java language. So for loop is same as the whenever it is a condition, the for actual syntax needs two semicolon. So in this semicolon, we have to go for the first one should be an incremental value. So first we have an initialization. So we can go for variable declaration and initialization here itself. Now followed by condition. Whenever the for block having a condition, then it is called entry conditional, like while. And at last we go for increment and decrement, either increment or decrement. And a group of statements will be executed. When you compare with the while block and for block, inside the while block, the initialization, the assigning, and condition and increment and decrement will be takes place at three different statements. In for loop, all the statements will be takes a single line. That is the advantage of using for loop. So let us go for programs one by one. So it will takes the same programs will be executing more than one program. I am writing inside the main block. I am writing so it is called a program number 555 or program 20. I can go for program 11 or 16. I can go for 16. This is the program number. So inside this one, I am declaring the one variable. So int n comma I would like to print the first n natural numbers. So sum of first n natural numbers. So when you don't know the n value, so we have to read that one. So before reading, I should go for, so to import the package called java.util package to utilize the scanner class objects, to utilize the scanner class methods through objects. Now this is the scanner class. Now I am taking the int n. Now rather than reading here, first create the scanner class object. Scanner sum s is equals to new scanner. New scanner will be there. Now scanner have a system.in is a one argument to the constructor system.in. After that, a prompt statement that enter the n value. So it will enter the n value. It will be reading to a one variable called n. So I am here n equals to s dot next int. The value will be taken to the n variable. Then I start the procedure from 1. We know that natural number starts from 1. The same thing I can return in a while loop, and here for every statement I should go for, so declaration of int n, int I is equals to 1, and sum will be 0. And here for every statement of I value, sum should be added to the I, and after that, to get the next value of I should be incremented by 1. And after coming out from the loop, I would like to print all the sum value for all the n number sum. So in a variable called sum, it will be printing. So this is a small program. So I start from 1, and if I give n value is 5, if I submitted n value is 5, the loop will be repeated for I value 0 plus 1, 1. Whenever I is 2, 1 plus 2, 3, like that it will perform till I becomes 6. Whenever the I becomes 6, 6 is less than or equal to n, where n value is 5, then only the condition becomes false. So after coming out from the loop, what is I value? I value will be 6. After coming out from the loop, I can mention the value of 5. So here, so after coming out from the loop, the I value is, so after loop, I value is, so it may be one question for the bit orient, for the any object oriented, I value is, I would like to print I. So I is the local to main variable, main method. It can be accessible inside the main. So that should be executed. I am saving the program with the name of program 16, and it will be saving. No need to worry, and the program is saved successfully. I should now I would like to go for compilation. This is my compilation where I saved the program in my working directory. The working directory name is Java. JP is my working directory. Now the screen is for you. So I can compile the program Java C followed by program 16.java. Program 16.java. And successfully, no. Java. So I have to change the directory CD followed by JP. This is my working directory, and coming to the program, I saved in the one where yes dot next. I am spelling I misspelled the next int method, so that is the reason it produces an error. Now the program is compiled successfully and ready for execution. At the execution time, I will do for Java followed by program 16. I will asking enter the value of n value. I am giving 20. The 20 first integers, the first is natural numbers will be I will, the sum is 210. And I value becomes 21, because whenever I value is 21, it will come out from the loop. This is a small program of the one called using the while loop. And the same program can be used by using the do while. The do while program also same thing, no need to worry. It also takes place the same procedure, where instead of while, I can substitute here do. Then after coming out from the block, after coming out from the while loop, I am mentioning that do life I is less than or equal to n. In this also case, it will print the sum is, I can get the result, the sum is, I can get the value. So sum will be printed. Now the program can be have by using the, which one called program 17. I am executing the program with the name of program 17. Again, I am written the program in do while.java. So program 17 is the program to print the sum of n numbers by using the do while, and program class name is program 17.java. It should be executed. Now I can go for execution. So after successful compilation, if I enter the value 20, the same result will be takes place. Now after learning all this one, now it is the time to go for work with the for loop. The same thing I can go for loop. So here reading the n value and doing everything. And here the point is I can go for I is equals to 1. So whenever the I is declared, I is initialized before, I can maintain the semicolon because I is a value. Whenever there is no value for I should be initialized. Now observe that before semicolon I am not in anything. So here I value is taken as a 1 at the time of declaration. And for loop is started at every time. I should go for sum is equal to sum plus I, and I should be added to the sum. After coming out from the for loop, I would like to print the value of system.out.println. I would like to print the sum of n numbers. The sum of n numbers is I would like to print the sum value. Now this is a small code where I am saving with the program 18. That is the class name of program 18, and it will be compiled. Before compilation, it should be saved. The program is saved, and I go for compilation. So now I am having compilation procedure here. So Java C, JAVA, Java C followed by program 18.java. Successfully compiled and ready for execution. Java followed by class name. The class name is program 18, and it will print the n value is 20. The value will be 210. That is the thing you have to observe. And by using the for loop, the nested for loops also there. So using the while, inside the while is called a nested while. So the things are very, very, very easy to understand. Nested while. What is the nested while? Inside a while, we are using another while. So it is the outer loop initialization, outer loop assigning, and outer loop condition. So we are having the condition one. So condition one always indicates to the outer loop. And here in the inside the while, rather than statement, I am creating one more while, that is called nested while. That is called nested while. While condition two, it refers to the inner condition. It refers to the inner condition, and the statements will be executed, and statements are there, and this is the inner increment value or inner decrement value. After coming out from the inner loop, we have to go for outer variable increment or outer variable decrement. This is a small thing where we are using. This is called outer loop. This is called outer loop. So this is called outer loop, and this is called inner loop. This is called inner loop. So this will be very useful in maintaining the arrays. In the next video, we are learning the videos. In the next video, we are learning the arrays. So these are the two loops, and both are called nested. In the combination of inner loop and the outer loop is called nested loops. So here nested while is there. Similarly, the thing will be mentioned for loop. Now I can write the program by using the for loop, where I want to print a pattern. So I want to print a pattern. So that will take place how it will be executed. Now I am taking two variables I comma j, and for loop is started for I is equals to 1, I is less than or equal to 5, I plus plus, and starting the inner loop. In inner loop, I should mention for j is equals to 1 and j is less than or equals to I, followed by j plus plus, nothing is there. Now I would like to go for system dot out dot print, out dot only print method to print the I value, and with this one I should add some space to maintain one pattern. And now when it is coming from out from the inner loop, I should go for the cursor will be go to the next line. So simply I'm using printf slash n. And this is the thing we have to understand how it will be executing. So pattern, you see how the pattern will be there. Now I am using for loop inside the for loop. Both are called nested for loops. So the program name we say with a 20. So Java C program 20.java successfully compiled, Java followed by, so the class name is program 20, which executes the result in a format of 1 2 2 3 3 4 4 5. So rather than here printing I, the value will be takes place like that. Whenever the same program, I can go for, so to write that to print the one thing called I value rather than I value when you take the j value. So the patterns will be different. In the same program, I am executing different patterns of code. Let us see what will happen. Now this is the pattern for printing the which variable I variable. And this is the pattern of printing the which variable j variable. When you change the I plus with I with j, the things are different. Now it is the one. Now to notice how the patterns will be coming from this to that one. So clear? Yes. Now these are the loops we are having in Java. So no need to worry. It is very, very, very easy. There are only 3 loops, and we can implement many more programs by using these 3 loops. One is called while loop, second one is called do while, and third one is called for. With this one, we are there to maintain all the, we can call it as a procedure-oriented Java. Inside the main method, we are writing each and every one. You are not creating any objects. So this is only the inside the main method doing the statement is called procedure-oriented. You can do like that, but Java is not like that. So you have to work with the objects. And next video you can see the arrays and strings. In the one video, I'm creating a video with both arrays and strings. So that's all for this one. So please go through that videos once again till you understand. And after learning each and every one, the following syntaxes and the examples, you write your own example. There are so many programs you have to write. So to implement the to know the logic of programs, Armstrong number, perfect, and it is a prime or not, what are the prime numbers between 1 to 1000, what are the even numbers from 1 to 100. All these programs are implemented by using loops. Inside this one, we are having conditions. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks to one and all. Thank you.